if we can bring communities of people together, just wrapped around the essence of children. And that is fun because children are just amazing. And if I always tell people that are complaining about stupid things like not wearing a mask, about wearing a mask, I should say, that I'm like, man, go hang out in one of these clinics where these kids are having transfusions or chemo, and why don't you complain a little less? Because if you could see how strong they are and how they're like, this ain't no thing, give me some Play-Doh. Like, they're so inspiring, you know. I think people just need to like get a little perspective. It's more than just your output, more than a bike. When you hear your shout out, you know it's all right. Put on your magic pants and let's go. We're cruising into the power zone. Clip in, set yourself free. Come on and take a ride with me. You know what you need to know and what's it all about. Everything you need, it's on the Clip Out.
Welcome to the Clip Out Podcast, episode 198. This is Crystal O'Keefe.
And this is Tom O'Keefe. Hi.
Hi.
198, ever so closer to 200.
We are so close to 200. It's just 2 weeks away.
It is. We have lots of cool things planned for 200.
Oh, you guys are going to love 200.
Not least of which, we won't be here.
We will not be here. We're going to celebrate our podcast anniversary.
By leaving.
We'll
be here. Well, you'll be an episode.
Yes.
And we'll record it, but...
We will. Yeah. You won't even miss us because we'll still be here. We just won't be here.
Right.
And we have so many surprises.
Lots of cool surprises.
So many surprises. You guys are not going to want to miss 200. It's not Tom working out. Surprise.
No.
Because we've already done that.
We kind of shot our wad there.
Yeah.
So.
This is all new.
All new and different surprises and guests, and it's going to be a jam-packed show. It's probably the most work we've ever put into a show.
Yeah.
Which
this has been weeks in the making.
Yeah, if not longer.
It's been months in the making.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to finally having that done.
Me too.
So
you haven't done anything. Wait a minute.
That's true. But listening to you and all the work you're doing is just exhausting.
Oh, well.
You don't know. You don't know what it's like.
Yeah.
The cross I bear.
Hey, I'm still working a lot of hours. You better watch it, mister.
So speaking of all the work you do, what do you have in store for people this week?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to talk about delivery times. We're going to talk about new partnerships, expansions. We've got Dr. Jenn. We've got new features. We're going to talk about Clubhouse. We've got Peloton in the news, a million different places, what's going on with instructors, and Peloton Closet.
Awesome. Well, before we get to all that, shameless plugs, don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart, TuneIn, wherever you find your podcasts, you can find us. While you're there, be sure and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you would be so kind, maybe leave us a review. And that way people that come along after you know that we're worth listening to. So here's a new review that we got.
Yay!
It's from Cena Family or Cena Family. Wait, how do you spell John Cena? Did John Cena leave us a review? I'm going to go out on a limb and say, no, he did not.
But I did the hand thing. I knew who it was. It's one person.
And this person says, my one and only review. Hang on. I'm going to click on their name just to see if that's true.
Is it true?
Well, now my iTunes isn't working when I click on it.
Oh.
So
that's sad.
We'll check later and report back. So here's their review. Well, yay. God dang it. Now it worked.
Oh, wait. My laugh is grating. Sorry.
Oh, there are 4 reviews. I feel lied to.
Well, maybe it was the only review then.
They haven't left many. Those other ones were a long time ago, so they might have forgotten about them.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead.
Maybe it's the only podcast review. Wait, this is in iTunes. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'll just shut up.
Okay, here we go. I never write reviews, and I'm an avid podcast user. I feel compelled to write this review because the Peloton community always encourages openly supporting anything that brings inspiration or motivation. This podcast is the cherry to my already beloved Fitness Sunday. Can you have a Fitness Sunday?
Aww.
I started listening the minute someone shared this podcast on a Facebook page, which is why we ask you guys to do that.
Yes.
I really just wanted to get updates on all things fitness, and this did it for me. Crystal and Tom have such a fun way of providing information and also sharing relative information. I've even gone back and listened to older interviews with different trainers, shared certain clips with my family, and hummed the Clip Out theme song. Thank you, Tom and Crystal. Keep up the great work. And the leaderboard name is Searching for My Abs.
Oh, I love it.
So thank you very much.
Yes.
And we appreciate all the reviews and kind words. It's very nice.
Thank you.
And you can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/theclipout. While you're there, like the page, join the group. And you can check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/theclipout, where you can watch all of these in their entirety. If you've never done it before, we're thinking you're probably going to finally cave and check it out on episode 200, because there's a lot of stuff going on in 200 and a lot of, and some of it's pretty visual. You're going to want to You're gonna want to see things.
You're gonna have to hop over. You don't have to. You'll still enjoy it, but like I have a feeling you're gonna want to.
There's people you're gonna want to see.
Yeah.
There's pieces of Peloton history that you didn't even know existed that you're gonna want to see.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very exciting. So youtube.com/theclipout. While you're there, subscribe to that as well. And then of course, you can get every link and all the things we talk about sent to you in an easily digestible format, so you can go check out the articles later if you want by signing up for our newsletter at theclipout.com. So there's all of that. Let's dig in, shall we?
Run, lift, and live with John Mills.
So I'm not sure what to say. Normally I say joining us today from Run, Lift, and Live is John Mill, but he's got the big fancy sweeper that just did all that for me.
So now we're just like, we could just be like, hey, John.
You don't even need me anymore.
What? Play that sweeper back. Play that sweeper back.
You only get one.
You only get one.
Only get one. Just get one sweep.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to burn it out.
I'll wait till next week.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's how we keep you coming
We'll
back.
send it to you. You can make it a ringtone.
Yeah.
Don't play with me. It's about to be my ringtone. I'm not going to be answering no calls. I'm just be listening. There it is.
Now, here's what you do. You sneak into Erica's phone and you change it so it's your ringtone whenever you call her. It's
and then
like
just call constantly.
Yeah.
And just keep calling. That's something I would do. Like, she actually would believe that I would do that. She's probably nervous right now.
She doesn't listen.
Yeah, she ain't listening.
She doesn't listen. They don't listen. Watch this. Crystal, what's the last episode of Real Spoilers you listened to?
You know, Tom, I spend a lot of time on this particular podcast.
Here's what I haven't told you, honey. We stopped recording Real Spoilers like 2 years ago. I just come down here and sit in the studio by myself for an hour a week.
That's bullshit. You watch too many movies.
I still watch the movies. We just don't do the show anymore. So delivery times are really falling into line, man. 3 to 5 weeks.
All that refreshing paid off.
Yeah.
I thought I was making it longer. It actually went down.
You should have started it months ago.
Yeah.
You dick.
It's all my fault. It took me all that time to figure it out.
So here's my question. So and I don't know if I should even say this out loud, but 3 to 5 weeks is kind of where things lived before.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So now that they've done all this extra stuff, are we going to see it get even faster?
I don't think so. And my thought process is twofold. And John, of course, jump in if you disagree.
He had a sweeper, so he can talk whenever he wants.
My head is like.
One, I don't think so, because people are going to be transitioning to that Bike Plus, which is not down to 3 to 5 weeks.
Okay.
So that's one. And two, I have been told by numerous people who have clarified for me only on new orders. So there's still quite a backlog that we got to get through.
Okay,
and I get that.
That makes sense.
But
It does.
one day, do you think that it'll be fat? You think it'll get?
I mean, we still would need the demand to come down.
Yeah.
And that
right.
Well, then we have new equipment probably coming. So
coming as well, right? And that's the thing. I was hoping for this, and I was actually hoping it would continue. Thus, the reason why I'm still refreshing. But I agree. The 3 to 5 weeks. That sounds like you're kind of back to normal. So are we? And I also have the question in my mind: are we back to normal strictly because of the $100 million that they spent to improve logistics, or has the demand changed.
Well,
right?
they said, okay, I will say during the last earnings call, okay, I remember John saying we have more more product than we do demand. Like they had already caught up. So maybe it just is like en route now. It could, before it wasn't on its way and now it is. And that allows that delivery time to go down. I mean,
I remember him saying that.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I don't think that demand has dropped, but of course that's just based on how there still seems to be a lot of people clamoring to get them. That's all I'm basing it on.
And I guess we'll know. I mean, the earnings call in May.
Right.
We're going to hear what the numbers are. We're going to understand what was going on this quarter.
Yeah.
And we'll quickly know right then whether this was strictly logistics or if anything changed in demand. So we'll see.
It'll be interesting to see.
It will.
Peloton partnerships.
So Peloton has launched a new partnership with Adidas, or anyone who was ever an 11-year-old boy will tell you, all day I dream about sex.
Exactly.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a thing?
Yes.
What?
Right? John knew exactly what I was talking about, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Take that back to the 70s. We were saying that.
Yeah.
No way. I never
Yeah.
heard that.
It was even a song. Wasn't that
it?
the Korn had a song called Adidas?
Did
where
it?
was All Day I Dream About Sex. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, clearly I wasn't a teenage boy. So anyway.
Works out for me.
It works out. It's all good.
Yeah, it's good. But Adidas and Peloton. So this is interesting for a couple of reasons. And I think it's interesting for a couple of reasons. One, we have several of our Peloton instructors that are Adidas ambassadors.
Yeah.
And two, this ride was posted last week with Cody, and he talked about it, and it was like an oopsie. It wasn't supposed to be released yet. And so people think that ride's going to be put back up. And I'm not real confident that it will, because Peloton doesn't tend to put things back up once they delete them. But hey, maybe I'm wrong.
So you explain things for me, because after I posted it, people were coming in and going, yeah, what? And that whole Cody thing. And I'm like, huh?
Like, yeah. Because apparently he was wearing the pink shirt that's going to drop. Now, so Tom, I don't know if you got my other link. I don't even know if I sent it to you, because today has been insane.
Yeah.
But there was like a sneak peek that you could go to from Googling.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do have that link. It's right here.
Seamless. So it's interesting, because if you're able to see this link, if anybody's watching YouTube, it has images that like all show out of stock. So I don't know if Adidas put these up and they weren't supposed to or what, but they're there. Everybody's assuming this is kind of a sneak peek at the look. Now, the only thing that really stood out for me personally was the pink hoodie. That looks super cute. But a lot of people, the reaction already is kind of like, they're not real excited. So I don't know. I mean, also, I think it's different when you see it larger than a thumbnail. So that might be different for people too. So
I was surprised when you sent that out that it was out there.
I think it was an oopsie. I don't think this is supposed to be out there, but it is.
Well, that site, that footy site, I'm looking them up, and they're like an Expedia for activewear.
Are
like
they?
They're pulling from a lot of different locations to show you apparel that you could purchase.
Oh.
So I don't know where this is really at. It just, that site is bringing it in to show us, which is wild.
Yeah.
But
It is.
I was hoping when we heard about there was this collaboration with Adidas. You know how Lulu buys Mirror, and now you got the athleisure wear and the connected fitness device, and then Tonal's now going to be in the Nordstroms, and so now you same thing there. You got the active wear and the connected fitness. I was hoping this was going to be something more than just we've collaborated on apparel. Like, I was hoping it was going to be, more of a campaign with these two things together, like physically in a shop, or something more than just a new apparel line. If I'm being honest, that's what I was hoping for.
But I guess we don't know if this is it, right?
That's a good point.
Because the press release was like uber vague.
Yeah.
Right.
There was nothing there.
Yeah, there's that. It's like two lines basically saying, we'll tell you more later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Keep coming back to this site. Right.
I'm just interested that there are so many Peloton instructors who are already Adidas reps that I'm kind of like, what's the upside for Adidas? I kind of feel like they've kind of already penetrated this market. First off, penetrated.
Oh my God.
Well, all day I dream about sex, honey.
Right.
It fits the segment.
Right,
it
totally.
fits the segment.
Yeah, my
like,
mistake,
right?
honey.
But
my mistake.
It fit right in. It fit right in.
Yeah.
But
That's
and I
what
do
she
mean
said.
fit. So So anywho, I just feel like if I was them, I'd be like, well, I'm kind of already all over Peloton because I have so many deals with instructors directly. What am I gaining from working with you officially?
I think they're gaining a lot of people that want to, I don't know, people like me that buy Peloton.
Right.
And I like a lot of Adidas stuff, and I'm not going to spend my money on it because I'm already spending a shit ton over at Peloton. So now you put both names together, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
So like there's people that only have so much to spend.
Right. And then hence what you guys said earlier. I mean, maybe there's more to it than this.
I don't know if there is.
Yeah, right. I also wonder about like, where is this going to be distributed? Where is it going to actually be sold? Is it strictly going to be through the boutique, or is this going to be where other Adidas apparel is sold? Like,
my guess
what else is there?
It's where other Adidas apparel is sold, and the reason I say that is the boutique kind of their business model thus far has been for things to sell out super quick, and Adidas is probably like, how about we sell as much of this shit as we can? That's our business model. Like, I don't know what you're doing. It's real cute, but it ain't what we do.
Yeah,
we got a novel approach. Let's make a lot of money on this.
Hey, how about we just sold how about we sold bikes, but we only sold like 4 of them and then they were gone? What about that? Right, that's how we feel.
This is probably why it took so long for this partnership to occur.
They have a snarky bastard
There's a whole
like
bunch
me
of debates on this.
working for Adidas.
Those are all good points. Plus, I was really hoping that the Ultra Boost shoes would be included in this because I am always eyeing those. Like Robin wears those all the time and they have like really, really great designs on them. And I was kind of hoping there would be like a special edition Peloton one that I could then justify buying because it would be Peloton. So I was a little sad about that. But maybe it's not a one-time thing, you know?
My guess is it's not, because I just don't think Adidas is really big and I mean, so is Peloton, but Adidas is huge and they're not like a boutique outlet. They don't want to do a one and done. They're going to want this to be, I think this is going to be for their fashion stuff like Beyonce. It's going to be a multi-year thing.
So kind of putting all that together and saying it another way, the reason this is such a big deal to Peloton and there's this big announcement around it would make sense that it's going to be sold in stores, right? Because this will be the first time that just anybody can go get a Peloton anything. That would be the first time it would ever be in a regular store that a person could go into. So,
and this press release is from Adidas, right?
Yeah.
Like this isn't from Peloton.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. See, that kind of lends to that thinking, right?
Yeah, it does. That they're taking the front seat, the driver's seat. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I think we just cracked that code. All right. Next.
We figured that out. Next.
Peloton expansions.
Put a Peloton on the Barbie. Peloton's heading to Australia.
So we've been hearing a lot about that Peloton is expanding. We've been hearing that Australia is next based on the tweets that Bob Tremore had sent where he had like a table of all the different places that they had filed.
Right, like trademark
Yes,
things.
yes, thank you.
That's what they're called, trademark
Yeah,
things.
that's the word.
Not to get technical on it.
Technical.
Yeah, that's...
Whatever. So questions that I have. Okay, so we know it's going to be the bike. We know it's going to be the bike plus, at least to start.
Right.
And we also know that obviously that the classes that already exist can be taken because everyone speaks the same language. So that's done.
Yeah. Hearing rumors that they've hired Crocodile Dundee as an instructor. No?
That's not enough.
Sorry. I'll try to be more Yahoo serious.
Oh boy. And but one thing that I'm curious about, where will the instructors, like, will they add more classes? And if so, specific to Australia, will they be from the UK studio? Will they be from the US studio? These are the questions I have.
Right. I got to imagine there's going to be new instructors. I got to imagine you want someone local to that market.
I agree.
Now, where they're actually recording, I don't know. But I got to imagine there's going to be new instructors.
Yeah, there's nothing about a new studio. So, I don't know what to think of that. I'm kind of leaning toward the UK for the studio. Just that would make sense to me. That's it.
That they would film the classes in the UK studio and just beam them to to Down Under.
Yes.
As they say. They call it the Down Under. I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh, so UCK calls it the Down Under.
They do.
Okay.
Yes. We call it Down Under. They call it the Down Under.
Oh, all right.
The Down Under.
All right.
The Down Under.
Right.
Yes.
Do they call it the Facebook too?
They do.
Okay.
Hey,
Nice.
make fun of me all you want. Go to thefacebook.com. Still works.
I believe that.
What?
It does.
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that.
You know what else works? FB.com. Blowing your
I
minds.
didn't know that either.
Blowing your minds right now.
Yeah, I'm all messed up. It's too much knowledge.
Yeah.
It's too much. Can't absorb all this.
Well, it's because your ego, the head. You said a while ago. There's
My ego's
so much
already
room.
way out here. And now Tom's dropping knowledge I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, and my head shrinking back down.
Yeah. Now there will be more room. It's all going to balance out.
So that's pretty cool though. That
It is really cool. Yeah. They're expanding. So we've got expansion into Australia. We think that we know that we have classes that are going to be coming in other languages soon, probably Spanish.
Right.
And I think those will be out of the New York studio. So, and here's the other thing. If all this is being announced prior to homecoming, what's homecoming going to be?
Right? I'm all excited about that.
Me
the
too.
expansion is amazing. It's great. We knew they wanted to expand. We knew they were talking about expansion. And all of this is going to be amazing. We know that. But yeah, this is some good stuff we're hearing lately. I'm still hoping for a new product at homecoming. We'll see what that is. I'm still hoping for a strength product. We'll see.
We will see.
I just hope it's not like Super Bowl commercials where it's like they're all on YouTube first, and when you watch the actual thing, you're just like, that's kind of lame.
That would be so sad. I hope people leave it alone so we can have some enjoyment. Just, it's fun. It's fun to be surprised, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Just so you know, I do. So Crystal has all sorts of great Peloton sources. I have a few myself.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So I have a lead I'm going to share with you right now
Okay.
Oh, snap.
on not only the first Australian instructor,
Yeah.
but the location of the studio.
Oh, let's see it.
The
Let's see it.
location?
Yeah, so I'm going to start with the instructor. We believe, we have reason to believe it's going to be P. Sherman. The studio is going to be located at 42 Wallaby Way in Sydney, Australia. So,
Thank you, Tom.
bold prediction right now. I'm going on record to say first instructor, P. Sherman, studio location, 42 Wallaby Way.
Man, I think the Peloton Prophet just got replaced.
Yes, you don't
Peloton
even
Prophet is
need
out
it.
of a job.
don't even need them anymore. P. Sherman,
We needed a
42 Wallaby
sweeper
Way.
before that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? What?
Wow.
Man.
Okay. Well,
So
now
remember
we
where
know.
you heard it first.
Right here.
Yes, right here. Well, John, thank you very much for joining us. Until next week, where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook in my group or page, Run, Lift, and Live. They can find me on Instagram, Run, Lift, and Live, or at runliftandlive.com.
Getting the psychological edge with Dr. Jenn.
So joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is Dr. Jenn Mann, licensed marriage, family, and child therapist and sports psychology consultant. You may know her from VH1's Couples Therapy with Dr. Jenn or VH1's Family Therapy with Dr. Jenn, her long-running radio show, The Dr. Jenn Show. She's written 4 best-selling books, including The Relationship Fix, Dr. Jenn's 6-step guide to improving communication, connection, and intimacy. Dr. Jenn, hi.
Hello.
Oh, it's so good to have you back.
It is.
And
We're
what a treat we get to see you
on
today.
camera.
Exactly.
It's very exciting.
Very exciting.
I've got lipstick on and everything.
Me too.
Yeah.
Your hair is nice, though.
This
Thank
week's
you.
question is from the Clip Out group, and it's from Kim Head. And Kim would like to know what kind of weight loss she should be following for gals over 50. She says it's a struggle. She doesn't see any results. As much as she cycles, she feels like she's doing something wrong. She would love some direction and tips to help.
Okay. I have a lot to say about this. First of all, anytime you are not seeing results when you feel like you should, or are starting any kind of weight loss journey or exercise or anything like that, you always want to meet with your doctor first and get a blood workup, have him, it sounds like there could be something going on metabolically, have your metabolism checked, have your hormones checked, have your blood checked, all that sort of stuff. So you want to kind of always rule out the physical first. Then the other thing is that you may want to work with someone who is an expert in this area. A lot of the time we tend to take on things that we think, oh, you know what, like I can look up online and follow some diet, or I can, do what my friend did that she lost weight, and it doesn't necessarily work for us. So sometimes we need something that is a little more catered to us. First of all, a lot of the time we tend to eat very unconsciously, and you and I have talked a lot about mindful eating and about intuitive eating. And a lot of the time we will be watching TV and eating and not realize how much we've eaten. And I remember a study done, this was done with kids, but they found that when kids were watching TV and eating, they eat like 15 times more food than when they're not watching TV. I do. Yeah. Wow. So that's kind of an important thing, that to be mindful about your eating and actually eat without any distraction. So you actually are aware and tasting your food and enjoying your food to the fullest. I am not a fan of diets. I'm very anti-diet. I had an eating disorder for a decade. And for me, the thing that was most helpful was to break out of that kind of thinking. And that's why I have my app that's called No More Diets. That's all about tuning into your body, listen to your body, understanding how to eat when you are hungry, not starving, stop when you are satisfied, not stuffed, allowing your body to give you cues about what it needs so that you can actually tune in and listen to it. So to me, being on a diet is, look, all the studies show that there's a 95% recidivism rate for diets, that typically when we do something that is restrictive, we tend to have a rebound effect, and that most people aren't able to lose weight and keep it off for, I think the kind of standard marker is 2 years. I'm someone who was once 50 pounds heavier than I am now. And so for me, a non-diet approach has really been the answer. And also for the people that I see in my practice and the people that I talk to. So the other thing I would recommend is books like Intuitive Eating by Elise Resch and Evelyn Tribole, Breaking Free from Emotional Eating by Janine Roth. Those are books that really address the emotional aspect of it, while also teaching you how to tune into your body and to really listen.
I think with diets, it's kind of right there in the marketing of it, that it's not designed. You don't go into it with the mentality that you're going to do it forever. So when you're done, it's like VE day.
You turn it off, and
all bets are off. And so it's never psychologically in your head as a long-term plan.
Exactly. And it's, and it's also become like a cliche about like lifestyle changes that are typically just diets wrapped up in a different package with a different bow, but really the same thing. And that if you're going to lose weight, it needs to be something that you can maintain and feel good about, and also that doesn't leave you deprived of your favorite foods. Like we just psychologically, we are not meant to live like that. We're not meant to, eat the perfect diet that has no sugar, no fat, no chemicals, no anything ever. We then tend to, all the studies show that kind of the more we deprive ourselves of foods that we love, the more out of control we tend to be when we have access to those foods.
That makes total sense. And I think we've all, anybody like over the age of 20 has probably lived through that cycle to some degree.
Yeah.
It's the same way, like when you talk about the freshman 15, right? Like that's part of what's driving that. There's no longer a throttle around, i.e. a parent to be like, what are you eating? And you go crazy.
Absolutely.
And that really pertains to this question is that we have this idea of, we all read a lot about, once you hit a certain weight, a certain age, you're to lose weight. And yes, there's scientific facts to back that up. At the same time, I think sometimes it becomes almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I know that my metabolism now is better than it was in my 20s when I was eating disordered, starving myself, overeating, undereating, doing all of that crazy stuff, that now it's like if you follow me on Instagram and see my Insta stories, I'm always posting, oh, here's the pizza I made last night. Here's the salad I made. Here's the cookies I baked. That I eat a lot more now than I did when I was in my 20s. And that was a long time ago, longer than I would like to admit. You have to say quite how long. But that the point just being that we have to be careful that we don't sort of buy into this certain sort of mentality of like, oh, once I hit a certain age, this isn't going to happen for me. And at the same time, it sounds like this person's really genuinely struggling and could use an appointment with the doctor and a blood test to make sure everything is okay.
Great advice.
Absolutely.
As always.
Yeah. And real quick, and you might not agree with this entirely, but as someone who likes to eat while they watch TV, one of the things I do is I just don't bring the bag with me. Like I pour some in a bowl, and because if I'm sitting there with a bag of chips, I'm going to eat. Serving size is one bag of chips. Like that's regardless of the size of that bag. And so, like I know intellectually that you're right, and I just shouldn't do it. But that's not going to be a thing.
But but also it's human nature, and there is something fun about like, oh, we're doing movie night, we're going to have dinner while watching the movie. But I think that in the beginning, if you're someone who is hoping to lose weight and to change your habits, it's important to really tune in. And also, I really like for food to be a passionate, exciting, wonderful experience. And if you're distracted and doing other things or having a stressful conversation, watching a show, especially right now, watching the news, like doing something stressful, then or even just distracting, you're not going to taste your food to the fullest. And I think it's important to develop the habit before you reintroduce TV and other distractions. And, the other thing is my app, my No More Diets app is basically, it's like a year of intuitive eating type therapy to help you to tune into your body, use things like the hunger scale, increase self-care so that you're not turning to food in order to kind of deal with your emotions. That there are tons of exercises and videos and all that sort of stuff in the No More Diets app to help you with stuff like this.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join us and for joining us on camera. And until next time, where can people find you?
People can find me on social media at Dr. Jenn Man, 2 N's on Jen, 2 N's on Man. I'm especially active on Instagram, and I post my workouts on my Insta stories, my Peloton workouts, because as you guys know, I am obsessed with my Peloton.
Speaking of losing weight over 50, at least for one of us.
I've got a little time.
Got a little time. You got a lot of time. Got a lot of time.
Yeah. 8 years.
Yeah, you got time. Yeah. So, MetPro.
Yeah.
We've been doing the MetPro thing.
That we have.
And so, we are taking a socially distanced romantic getaway in a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so they've kind of had us in a stasis period. Like they're upping our food, knowing that when we're on vacation, we won't be as good as we would be normally.
Yep.
And so that's why we haven't seen necessarily big drops. But what's been fascinating, I think, to watch is like how much more food they keep shoving down my gullet and my weight does not change.
It is super fascinating. Let's see. I had one more cut before we left on vacation because I started a couple of weeks before you. So I had a cut, but now I'm back on my way up. So they did an up adjust where I was up to 275 carbs a day.
Yeah.
Which is insane for me.
Right.
And I had not gained weight. And then I lost 6 pounds in a couple weeks. And now I'm going back up on my carbs so that by the time we leave and we're able to get away, I won't have like this major bounce back where I gain a whole bunch of weight while we're gone. And I find that fascinating with MetPro that they're able to do that. Like it's super effective. People whose metabolism, like they have to keep eating less and less and less to get results.
Right.
That's why they need MetPro, because they need MetPro to be able to correct that metabolism.
It's like a race to the bottom, right? Like,
yeah.
And so like I
feel like somebody never told me that.
I know,
feel like
right?
It's missing information. Everybody said like it's calories in, calories calories out. But then they forgot to tell us that, like, if you keep eating less, your metabolism slows down, which means you have to keep eating less, which means you have to keep eating less. And it's like this never ending vicious cycle.
It's like the opposite of a pyramid scheme.
Yes.
And so yeah, it's been like I feel like I eat so much food right now. There is so much food. It's like there are times where I have to like actually stop in the middle of the day and be like, oh shit, I was supposed to eat.
Yes, which
like,
has never been a thing in my adult life.
No.
And it's like, and you're eating every couple of hours. So it's like you never even have a chance to get hungry.
No.
It's amazing. Like, it's very satiating. It's all real food. It's healthy food. There's no weird stuff that you got to go buy or there's no gimmicks. It's just science.
Yeah.
It's just science and real food.
I'm eating chicken and cheese and corn tortillas and beef, and it's all like regular things. It's nothing goofy.
Right. It's stuff you can easily find at the grocery store. It's nothing that you're going to have difficulty finding anywhere. It's really, really convenient. And I like their tracking process too. It makes it super simple. They send over what you're going to eat. Like, they'll tell you, like, here's how many carbs you should eat. You choose it from your food diary. You make your own meals and you create them. And then when you're done eating them for the day, you just check a box.
And it's nice because they know that, like, we're gonna go on a little getaway.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're not going to want to follow the rules.
Right.
And that's okay. We'll set you up to win and we'll put on a little bit. But when you come back, you'll get right back to it and we'll knock it right back off and you'll be good. I mean, like, okay, I've never gone on a vacation with a plan like that before.
Exactly. So it changes the game.
Yeah. So if you want to check it out, it's metpro.co. That's CO, metpro.co/TCO. And that'll save you some money there.
Definitely. Up to a month free.
New features.
People can finally stop bitching. Sessions is officially here.
It's here. It's here. And ironically, it still says beta, but it is here. And now you can schedule sessions with friends, which was the #1 requested feature.
Yeah.
Not really shocking. But this means that, like, now you can send it to your friend and be like, I want to start this session with you. And you can make a group, which means we got to have a clip out session. How fun would that be? I mean, for me.
Right, for you.
So very exciting. This has been long awaited. You can go to the blog and check out anything. You can also start the sessions on your app. So it's super, super easy to do. And I have a feeling there are more things coming with the schedule. I just have a feeling. So if you haven't checked it out already, definitely make sure you check it out now. Sessions allows you to basically go in and do almost any class on Encore. You're probably going to have the best luck finding one that works that's most recent. And what you want to do is you can choose any of those classes and then take it with a fresh leaderboard. So only the people that you choose, that you were in the class with at that moment, will be on the leaderboard. So you can lock it down. Well, you can't close other people out, but you can choose certain people to take a class with if you would like. So very cool. Much better way to do races and things like
Absolutely.
that. So all these private events that people do, this is going to be so helpful for them.
Absolutely, it will.
Clubhouse update.
We finally have our own Clubhouse on Clubhouse.
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
It is.
A treehouse? What do they call it?
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
And you can easily find it. Go to the search bar and type in Peloton. We will come right up. It's called Peloton The Clip Out. And that's all you have to do. And you can join the club. We've got over 300 members already.
Nice.
And we are so excited to have a little get together every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And what we're going to do is talk through all of the topics that you guys vote on from this episode. So you'll get to pick like your top 3 things that we talk through. It'll be on the Facebook group. You can go in and vote. So look for that on Friday afternoon. And then on Sunday afternoon, we'll get together. We'll chat about those top 3 topics, and then we'll open it up for anything about Peloton. So it's tons of fun. I love hearing from all the different people. I love having the random people who don't know anything about us
that
come by.
in.
It's really interesting to hear their take on things too. So it's a great way to meet people outside of our normal community and expand. And I just love hearing from everybody.
Absolutely.
Peloton in the news.
Peloton has hired a lobbyist.
They have. So let's see. His name is Justin Kentz. And he joined Peloton as a senior VP government relations and public policy. So senior VP of government relations and public policy. He is the first in-house Capitol Hill lobbyist.
And his background's pretty impressive. He was director of government affairs at Orbitz. He was a corporate and PR manager at the European American Business Council and special assistant external and intergovernmental affairs in the Bush administration, the W. Bush administration Interior Department. So, like, that's a track record. It is. And it sounds like what he's going to be handling is Made in America manufacturing, social justice and equity, and health and wellness issues with a focus on COVID-19 recovery. So I am super excited to see what they end up doing with this. Do you have any thoughts on it? It's just fascinating that like they've gotten so big that they have to start thinking about how do we interact with the federal government. It really is. Wow. We've come a long way. We sure have. By we mean them, because we haven't really done. We've been along for the ride. Yeah. We watch from afar. We're like a little bird perched on the windowsill, just watching. Congrats to Peloton. Absolutely. I feel like that's another big milestone. I would concur. Fast Company has released their list of the 10 most innovative wellness companies of 2021. They have the most unfortunate logo. I'm not really sure what's going on there. I don't know, but your comments in the group, I hadn't thought of anything like that. And then you just, and now you can't unsee it. I can't unsee it. And now I'm like, they need to fix their logo. You can't unsee it once I point it out. I think it's supposed to be some kind of trophy. Anyway, let's move on. That would certainly be a trophy. Okay, moving on. So Peloton tops the charts, coming in at number 1 for motivating consumers to keep working out even after weeks and months at home. I can't remember what number they've come in past years, but they've been on this chart before, and it wasn't always number 1. And it's so exciting to see them moving up the charts. Totally. I mean, it's great to be on a chart like this, no matter where you're at. But I don't. If we've talked about this before, I've got zero recollection of it. I think I'd remember the butt plug trophy they give out, but there it is. Think that would stick in the old noggin among other places. But I feel like it's a different logo than it's been in the past. So they had a different logo, and somebody was like, "Could we make it look more like a butt plug?" What about that? So anyway, I'm just blue skying. Brown skying? My God. What if it looked like a butt plug? So congrats to Peloton for making the top of the charts. Careful where you set that trophy, though. And I have to say, I'm so excited to see that Tonal is on this chart as well. Absolutely. I was going to point that out as well. They come in at number 3. Number 3. Yeah. I love seeing my 2 favorite companies right there at the top. And I think this bodes incredibly well that Tonal is at only number 3. And they're so much earlier in their run than Peloton. And I feel like they are on the exact same kind of trajectory. They're going to be amazing, just like Peloton. Love both of them. I just hope they each get their own. Tom. Well, you don't want to share something like that. You want your own dedicated one. Trophy. And while we're talking about just Peloton and now they have a lobbyist and they used to do it in a classes, that is. Keep it clean, honey. Doesn't always have to go to the gutter with you. Right. I'm the problem here. But Yahoo Finance had an article today about the Sessions feature coming out. Which I find fascinating that there's a new feature on a Peloton bike and to Yahoo, that's worthy of a news story. And it makes sense because they're covered. Yahoo Finance covers them so closely with the stock market, and this of course could affect the stock market. But yes, but also it's just ultimately a feature within the thing. Is anybody going to buy or not buy stock over this little tweak? I think it's possible actually that they would, especially in combination with the Australia announcement. But I still get your point, and the point is absolutely taken that we're starting to see more and more major news outlets covering the topics that we've been covering for 4 years, and they're finally like, oh, this is newsworthy. The stuff that used to just be the minutia. Yes, exactly. Yeah. These little detailed things. It's amazing. And then finally, in our Peloton in the News segment, John Foley was featured on Fox News Sunday
Yeah, he was talking all about like what the pathway to success has been. And we've heard versions of this story many times, but he talks a lot about how it was not a success only journey. There were a lot of no's back at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's been a very, very long climb to the top and well worth every moment. And he says that they are having a great time. And I love that they're still having fun. And I love that he still has a smile on his face and he clearly still loves Peloton. It's so exciting to see.
Well, I was about to say, well, I would hope he has a smile on his face because he's like a legit billionaire. But how many billionaires do you see that look like just sorry sons of bitches? So
okay, that's fair.
You know, like so many people that reach that point, it doesn't seem like it makes them happy. And I'm not saying this, I don't think it's the money that's making him happy.
No.
I'm sure he likes the money. Don't get me wrong. But this is just the pinnacle of his career, and I feel like he knows that.
Yeah.
And he's very excited about it.
Yeah.
As well he should be.
Absolutely. It's really cool to see. And by the way, at the end of that little video was Rebecca Kennedy back when she was a model for Peloton, not an instructor.
That's funny.
That's really cool.
That story
that they
cracks
showed
me
that.
up.
I know. I love it.
Oh, but I was wrong when I said finally. There's one more quick one. Golf.com has a list of 4 great classes to get in shape for golf season for your Peloton. So
and it's all Peloton. Again, every major news outlet is finding ways to pull Peloton into their news. Gotta love it. Everything from yoga to bar.
Yep.
Instructors in the news.
So Christine D'Ercole reported this week that she has been battling cancer.
Yeah, she had some spots on her face that turned into squamous cell carcinoma, and she talked about how she didn't really want to share this with anybody until she knew how it was going to turn out.
Sure, I get that.
Absolutely. And they got everything. They were able to remove it. She seems like she's in really good spirits, and I posted about this the day that she posted. I think I think probably a lot of our listeners already know about this, but we wanted to make sure that you guys saw it and sent your love to Christine just so she knows that we are there for her in the same way that she is there for us. All of our best wishes to Christine to heal completely.
And People magazine featured Jess King on ruling the fitness world and planning for the future with her fiance.
So do you think that People magazine is just going to go through and start having features every week? Because this is number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, Robin having her baby was obviously a huge number 1, but 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I know I do. I think that obviously the Robin layout last week was pre-planned, and I'm sure they paid her a fee, and because that's how baby photos work.
Absolutely.
And this was probably planned before that because it takes a little while to turn around features like this.
It appears that it has been.
But my guess is that they're seeing that they get lots of clicks on Peloton stuff. It's just another example of the Peloton instructors are becoming legit celebrities, and they drive clicks, and so you will only see more and more and more of this.
Well, if you haven't had a chance to read it, definitely check it out. It talks about Jess King and her fiance, Sophia. And Sophia has her own, history of how she got into the spotlight. So you can read all about that in People magazine. And of course, we'll be sending that out whenever Tom sends out the newsletter. It'll come straight to you.
And you can sign up for that at theclipout.com. Exciting news from Becs Gentry this week.
So exciting. So we've been hearing for a while that Becs she's been training. And she let everybody know this week on Instagram that she is actually been training for the Olympic trials.
Wow.
She made it in. She will be going to the Olympic trials in Great Britain. She qualified. I could not be more proud to have this woman as one of our instructors. She is amazing and deserves this. And if you're wondering, she actually qualified I guess it's been a year and a half now, at the New York City Marathon that she did with Peloton. It was her first time at New York City Marathon.
Right.
And she came in the first female who was not a qualified athlete. She was the very first one of the non-elite people.
Gotcha.
That finished. And that year she qualified. So here she goes. How exciting.
And these are the people that teach the classes to
I know.
you. That says
I just
a lot
got goosebumps.
about the caliber of people.
And she's so excited. She's so cute.
She should be.
Absolutely. All of our love to Becs. God, that's amazing.
And then Matt Wilpers popped up on the Marni on the Move podcast.
Yeah. Let's see. Which episode is this? Well, is it from January 9th? I think it's from January 9th.
Okay.
So you might have to go back in time a little bit, but he was on the podcast, and so definitely worth a listen. Talks all about his path to fitness.
And it's episode 71 if you want to go check that out.
Thank you.
Peloton Closet. Step into the Peloton Closet with Tori.
So joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is Tori from Peloton Closet. Hey, Tori, how's it going?
Hey, Tom. Hi, Crystal.
Hi. How's it been in the Peloton Closet this week? What's going on?
It's been very busy in the Peloton Closet, and I am excited to tell you about a couple of looks that got a lot of attention over the past few days. And I have a theme today. The theme is looking cute and doing good at the same time.
Okay. All right.
All right. So as you all probably know, this month is Women's History Month, and Peloton has been doing a series of Women's History Month classes. And the first look that I want to talk about comes from Leanne's Women's History Month class. She taught a Broadway ride on March 2nd. And she wore this really cute tank, and it said "Woman Up." So it was a black tank. It looked like a sports bra, but if you're like me and a very close observer of Peloton fashion, you actually noticed that it was a tank that she'd cropped and tied in back and worn over a bra. But it is in fact a tank. And I took a deep dive on this and found out that it's made by a nonprofit company called Spark Company. And it retails for $32. And if you buy this tank, or you can turn it into a sports bra if you want as well, all of the proceeds go to purchase sanitary supplies for women and girls at shelters and in other high need situations.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
So you can wear Leanne's tank, you can turn it into a crop top or a bra, and you're going to do good for women and girls in need.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's great.
Very cool.
Good find.
And I'll have all the information about where you can get that on Peloton Closet. So I'm going to post all of this for you if you want to make those purchases. Yeah. So, okay, second, I'm kind of going with a girl power theme as well in honor of Women's History Month. So the second look was from Kendall Toole. And on February 26th, so last month, she wore a really cute monarch butterfly print bra. And it was just in a 5-minute post-ride stretch. But it turned out that this bra was made by Brittany Allen. And I think I've talked to you guys about her a little bit. She was a former contestant on Project Runway about a year ago and made it all the way to the final. She wasn't the winner, but made it really far. And she went back home to Austin, Texas, where she lives and works. And I don't know the story. I'd be so curious to know how she got connected with Jess King. But she started making these really elaborate, kind of crazy costumes for the Jess King Experience rides. And those caught my eye right away. And Brittany is a smart businesswoman because she too realized the power of the Peloton fashion platform. And she took some of these, elaborate looks that only Jess King would wear. And I mean, maybe Crystal would wear them. I don't know. They were just a little much for me. But
I could wear them.
Or Tom.
Yeah.
Or Tom.
Thank you.
So she took some of these really elaborate looks and kept the essence, kept the fun fabrics, kept the great cuts, but turned them into much more wearable, athletic sports bras and leggings for, still a fashion-forward Peloton rider, but maybe not Jess King per se. So these looks retail from about $78 to about $182. That's for like the most elaborate legging that she sells. So they're on the pricier side, but they're really unique and special. It's not like that black legging that everyone's wearing to the supermarket. This is a really cool look from an up-and-coming creative. And
what makes it like elaborate? As someone who knows nothing about fashion, in case my hoodie doesn't let you know that, is it
that's
like
an elaborate hoodie, Tom?
Yeah. Is it the pattern? Is it the fabric? Like, what makes it? Is there like a live chicken attached?
Possibly, but she's, she designs these fabrics herself. So they're unique and one of a kind. She does a lot with butterflies. There's like a really cool, I don't even know how to, kind of like a psychedelic print, one that has dollar bills, but they're sort of glittery, just like really things that you're not going to see at every store. Okay. So some glitter, some appliques, all kinds of fun stuff. But she's a Peloton rider herself. And so all of them are made to actually work out in.
I love that.
And she also does very size inclusive looks. So everything is made extra small to 4X. So no matter what size you are, you can rock a Brittany Allen look.
Oh, wow.
So it was exciting to see Kendall wearing it as well, not just Jess King, and to see, a platform to support an up and coming young designer. So another way to look cute and do good by supporting someone who is on the rise.
That's amazing. Does she have like her own website that you can go and peruse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It is shopbrittanyallen.com. BrittaneyAllen.com.
Okay, great. Wow,
Yeah.
awesome.
And then the third look cute, do good look comes to us from Emma Lovewell. And Emma taught a ride in January. It was January 7th. And if, again, as a keen observer of Peloton fashion, I've noticed, and you might too, Emma loves her tie-dye.
Yes.
So she is always in a tie-dye. So in that ride, she was wearing a really cool black crop tie-dye with all sorts of colors. And I don't even know how this happened, but I finally connected with the small businesswoman who made that tie-dye. And she is based in Massachusetts. She's a mom. She's just like, putting her stuff out there. And Emma picked up on it and everyone went crazy. People were ordering off of my site. The shirt is $46, including shipping. And I continued my relationship talking to this woman, Lindsay, and she decided this week to offer what I think is such a cool service. And this is, let's just say for the record, tie-dye is gender neutral. So Tom, listen up. For the gentlemen as well. I think, from the Grateful Dead until pandemic 2020, we know like anyone and everyone can wear tie-dye.
Absolutely.
So what she will do is if you send her your Sentry shirt, your black Peloton Sentry shirt, she will do this technique called reverse tie-dyeing. And it is so cool and super colorful. She can customize it. If you love blue, it can be blue. If you want, rainbow, it can be rainbow. And so people went crazy when I posted this on Peloton Closet. Like everyone wanted to tie-dye their Sentry shirt. And it's $40, including shipping. And again, I will post that info. But another great way to support like a young and, independent business person, not like the man, the big corporate, or the woman. But
yes, the woman can be the man now too.
That's true.
Absolutely, woman up, right?
And we've come full circle.
That's a great idea. That's really clever.
Did you get to see the picture that she sent over? I feel
bad now because I hate tie dye.
Oh, but it's gorgeous.
It's not my thing.
Yeah, but it's really pretty though.
Yeah.
But this is so exciting. I love these topics. This is really great. I think it's really cool that you have found all of these and put them together into a theme. And I love that you're taking people from the community and raising them up. That's what we love to do here.
Absolutely.
So that's fantastic.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Until next week, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram. It is Peloton Closet. My website is Peloton Closet. I'm on Facebook. Guess what it is?
I think it's
Peloton Closet.
Peloton wardrobe. No? Peloton
Closet.
chest of drawers.
No, that's a sister site. But I also ride under.
I'm from the Midwest. It's Chester drawers.
That's a thing.
You can find me on the leaderboard at the very bottom, Peloton Closet. And where else am I? I don't know. Peloton Closet.
I think you got them all. But Peloton Closet. Awesome. Thank
You're
you
in all
so
the
much.
Places. Thank you.
Thank you.
While we're talking about fashion.
Yeah, great time. So Peloton Closet actually found this. So back in December, Kristin McGee, the yoga instructor, she teamed up with Terez to make her own special design of leggings. And they're tie-dyes, like blue and purple tie-dye with little lightning bolts on them. They sold out incredibly fast because they were limited edition. But then Peloton Closet, Tori, noticed that they were back on sale just this last week.
Okay.
And so I had to go get a pair. Also, they're already selling out again really fast. So if you haven't had a chance to go get them, absolutely do. They are adorable. And they're the high-waisted Terez or the mid-waist Terez, which is they don't roll. They don't flip over. The waistband doesn't. So they fit much more comfortably than the low rise. So hope that you get those.
Peloton birthdays.
Couple of birthdays.
Oh.
March 16th is Sam Yo.
Happy birthday to Sam Yo.
And March 17th.
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. It's Peloton's birthday.
Peloton's birthday?
That's right. According to the filings I found, that March 17th is when they officially registered as a corporation in the state of Delaware.
That's awesome.
So it is the birthday of Peloton,
well,
March 17th.
Happy birthday to Peloton and to Sam Yo. Very cool.
Checking in with the Peloton community.
So joining us today via the magic of ZoomTube is Andrea Verdone Gorsegner. And yes, I practiced that.
Hi.
It's a tough name. I would have practiced it too.
Well,
It took me a while to learn it myself.
Right.
So yeah.
Which part was harder, Verdone or Gorsegner?
Well, being I was born into Verdone, that came a little more naturally. But definitely the Gorsegner. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of letters. But you're right.
Yeah.
It is exactly the way it looks. It's one of those.
It's intimidating.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
You see all those letters just together, and you don't think if I just separate them into Gorsegner.
Yes. And yes, exactly.
They made it easy on us.
They did.
So, because some people with name, it's not easy. So.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I butcher names all the time. Please.
So do we.
That's why I call everybody sweetie. What's up, dude?
It's a little harder when you have
easier.
to introduce, though. What do you do for introductions?
Yeah.
Tom just says hello to people when he doesn't remember people's names. So he's just oh, hi. Yeah. And then I'm supposed to fill in.
What's up?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So do you do that too when you don't remember names?
Well, yeah, at events, my husband's always my wingman. And I'll be like, hey, if I'm not introducing you, it's because I don't know who this is and I should know who it is. Yeah. So you need to interject with I'm Dan. And then they'll say their name and I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm so rude. I'm so sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So we do that game a lot. Not so much now with COVID because we have no in-person events.
Right.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. But now I'm kind of upset that Crystal said all that on the show. So when we run into people,
I outed you on the show.
They'll know that that's what I'm doing. But
the secret's out.
It doesn't really matter though, because listeners they want to meet her, not me. So I don't have to contend with that too much.
And you know what? At the end of the day, everybody does it. And if they say they don't, they're lying.
I like you.
Or there's some sort of savant.
Thank you.
And they're just really good at it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
there
are some of those freaks.
Mary
They just
Lou
remember everything. I personally wish that it was mandatory when you wake up, you had to slap a name tag on your shirt. So that when I went to different things, I wouldn't even have to think about, who is this person? Who is this person?
Look, I get where your heart's at. We can't get people to wear masks during a pandemic.
Oh my God.
So I don't think a name tag thing's going to fly. They're going to be like,
you are preaching to the choir.
There's a chip in that name tag. They're using that name tag to ID me. Well, yeah, it's a name tag.
When I was on the bike, and I know we're getting to that for the 24 hours, I had a couple different childhood cancer families come visit me. I had a couple different friends, all staggering different times, so no one kind of overlapped. But when they would come in, they had their mask on, and I would put on my mask while I'm riding. And I definitely thought multiple times, like, here I am on this bike. I've already been on this bike for 8 hours. I am talking for an hour with a mask on, and I'm still here.
Right.
Yeah.
You made it.
Ta-da.
I'm like, why is this so difficult for people? But that's a whole other podcast.
Yes.
It is. It is. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get to the fun stuff. Since you mentioned being on the bike, I want to hear all about the Spin for Kids Peloton themed fundraiser and how it came to be.
Yeah. So I have a childhood cancer foundation. It's called Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer. And it was inspired by my daughter, Natalie, who's now healthy and 11. But she was diagnosed with high-risk acute lymphoblastic leukemia just before her 3rd birthday in August of 2012. She was in treatment for a little over 2 years, finished up November of 2014. So she's been cancer-free for 6 years, which is
awesome,
incredible.
Yeah.
And while she was in treatment, previously I'd worked in publishing, and to go from having this fast-paced full-time job to, oh my God, my kid has cancer, and now this is my full-time job. I have to leave. It's just a lot. And, as a parent, you feel so helpless because there's nothing you can do to make this better for them. You can't take away the pain, and it's excruciatingly painful yourself just experiencing that. So for me, I started digging into childhood cancer, learning more about it. And I was just blown away to discover how underfunded it is. So with that, I was like, okay, what can I do right now to help this, to help fund research? So Natalie, at the time, we had a Facebook page to keep friends and family updated. We called it Infinite Love for Natalie Grace. And I was like, what if I just, I get a bank account, a P.O. box, and take a picture of Natalie and I holding a sign that says, will you send us $1 for childhood cancer research? Long story short, that post went viral. We decided to put an end goal on it. So this was when we started, it was April of 2013. And we made the end date September because it's Natalie's birthday, and it was Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And we're like, for the heck of it, since it had gone so viral, let's be crazy, pie in the sky, say $50,000. And we ended up raising $110,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was pretty incredible. So that was just year one. And after that, we were like, well, we've got to do this again. So we just kept doing it. Eventually, it became a 501c3, and it transitioned to Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer. And, up until COVID, we had raised $1.2 million we've given for research.
Wow.
Holy cow.
And that's to medical facilities all over the country. People can go to our website and see exactly what we funded. And we also help children all over and their families with anything and everything they could need. So when 2020 happened, COVID, and suddenly we're not having any of our in-person events, we had to get creative. And it's like, what can we do virtually to just kind of get people excited to want to give? And that's when I just randomly thought, what if we see if people would register to do a live ride with us, AKA give us a $25 donation. We'll pick the live ride. And I'm like, okay, I used to work in editorial, so it needs a spin to collect any kind of interest or traction.
Sure.
So I'm like, what if I say I'll ride the bike for 24 hours? And everybody thought I was crazy. They were like, you're never gonna be able to stay on a bike for 20. I was like, whatever, I could try. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. I'm probably not gonna be able to be on this bike for 24 hours, but I can try, and if I don't, what's gonna happen? But I'll give it my best, and hopefully this effort will generate donations and it'll generate excitement. Which is great because it's awareness and funding for the foundation. So it's a win-win. So that's what we ended up doing.
Wow.
So did you like build in brakes? Was there a catheter involved? Like, how do you go 24 hours?
What's so funny? The number one question is, did you go to the bathroom? Yeah. And they're like, listen, I'm not a robot. I got to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, I'm not wearing a diaper on the bike.
I thought maybe you were sweating it out, and you didn't have to pee.
No, there's no sweating it out. No. So I allowed myself to use the bathroom when I needed to. I actually, one of my team members, Rachel Kanapka, who helped me do everything for this, she made these signs that I could hang up in front of the computer because we streamed the whole thing live on Facebook. So people could hold me accountable and they could visit me and give me motivation. And I would just hang the sign up and it says, bathroom break, be back in 5. This way, if someone checked in and they didn't see me on the bike, they wouldn't be like, where that fishing?
Yeah.
She's a liar. She's not on that bike. So I only needed 5 of those breaks and they were never more, they ranged like 3 to 5 minutes.
I mean, that's insane. Only 5 in 24 hours?
If I'm a 50-year-old man, if I pee 5 times in an hour, like that's low. So
well, I think you were right in the beginning when you said I probably sweat some of that out. So that was probably some of it for sure.
You know, I have an idea. Yeah. If you were to ever do something like this, Crystal, what you could do is for your bathroom breaks, we could set up an echelon because you're pissing on that all the time.
Wow.
God. Well, sometimes my breaks weren't even just for the bathroom. Like sometimes I needed chafing cream.
Of course, yeah. That'll
So I'd say maybe 3 were bathroom, 2 were because I'm like, all right, this fabric is rubbing. I don't want to get to a bad point. Let me just reapply.
Totally. My first thought was the peeing, and my next thought was, how are you not doing this interview standing?
Yeah, because that's like that's a lot of fabric.
This is actually a standing desk, so I could if I wanted.
Okay. She's got answers for everything.
She does.
Throughout the interview, later on, you're just going to see me go like that.
That's awesome. So,
yeah, no, it was hard, but you know what? I had my older daughter, Hannah, she's 13, and she is just, ever since she was little, like when Natalie was in treatment, she is just an old soul, always has been, and just innately knows what people need and how to take care of them. So she was my mama bear all night long. I mean, she hung in the entire time. She fell asleep for 15 minutes at like 6 a.m. and she was so mad. But aside from that, I mean, she's the one that I couldn't have done it without her. Like she got me food and drinks and she thought of things that I'm just blown away by. Like for instance, by about, I don't know, maybe 1 a.m., my knees, which I didn't even expect to happen, or I would have purchased some kind of knee braces. My knees were killing me. Like I was like, oof, if anything's going to make me stop it, they hurt so bad. I was forgetting about how much my butt hurt. Ooh. So I was like, oh man. So I said to her, do we have any kind of like, they have so much medical equipment, my girls. So I was like, do we have any wraps or something? And they were like, oh, no, we don't have any more. I'm like, shoot, okay. And I'm trying to think of what I can use to just kind of brace them a little tiny bit. And then she comes back with, I had foot surgery a year ago. It was a really horrible kind of recovery. And I had these compression socks. And she came back with compression socks and was like, hey, what if I just cut the foot off of these and you can like bring them up to your knees? And I'm like, oh, you are a genius. So you'll see in the pictures, I have these black and white striped things on my knees. Those are compression socks that she cut the bottoms off of. And it was like, I mean, obviously it wasn't perfect, but man, that got me through the rest of the ride. Like It really stabilized my knees to make them so they didn't feel so bad. She kept track of, she was giving me Tylenol and Motrin on a loop. So she was keeping track of when I could have each one.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
She froze towels to put around my neck to wake me up. Like when I was feeling like, oh, I'm really dragging, she would go get a frozen towel and put it on my neck.
My family needs to take notes. Because when
I did great. I ran to the store and got stuff for you when you did your thing.
No bedside manner for Tom.
It's not that. Like, he did what I asked him to do. And when I did a walking marathon
on your treadmill.
On my treadmill for my birthday. And so it was like 42 kilometers because I was turning 42. And I amassed some major blisters at mile 10. And when I say major, I mean this big
huge.
around. It was bad.
God, they're the worst.
And I wanted to quit. Like, I really wanted to quit.
So I ran up to Walgreens and I found all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, he got like the moleskin and like
stuff that you didn't even know to ask for. I came back with.
You did.
So
you did.
He was like a magician for blisters.
He
I
was.
wasn't like what's MacGyver's name? I wasn't like MacGyver over there. But
that's Ms. MacGyver to you.
Yeah.
But I was going to tease him because there was no ice. There was no like Motrin or anything like that. But they did make a toilet paper finish line for me to cross.
Hey.
So,
Okay. All right. That's something.
It is. I'm sorry. I'm very jealous of how well your family took care of you. No offense, Tom.
And I'm going to make you a little more jealous because my parents have been here the weekend and my mom's your typical Italian mom cook. And she just was like, Can I get you some chicken? Do you want some soup? I literally had a bowl of soup on the bike. I'm like, of all the things to have for dinner on a bike.
Yeah, she was an odd choice. But so
she's like, I'm gonna roast some carrots. You want some of those?
So I'm just curious, what was your 24-hour time frame, like when to when?
Yeah, so we started it. So we basically asked people to register. It was a $25 donation to ride Tune Day's 9:30 a.m. hip hop class. That was this past Saturday.
Yes.
So that was like the kickoff to my 24 hours.
Wow.
So we told once they registered, they got an email that gave them the hashtag to change to. So it was hashtag, it was infinite love 4 kids. So I was curious when we got on the ride. I was like, oh, how many people are going to remember to change their hashtag or going to actually do it? And there were like 206 people that had the infinite love hashtag.
That's amazing.
And for having this small mom pop foundation, it was super cool. Like it felt like, I could hear the Rocky music in my head.
Yep.
On that bike, I was like, I'm ready. I'm gonna kill this 24 hours. And I did not kill myself on her ride, by the way, because I was like, I'm not gonna go all out and then go on with 23 and a half hours.
I was wondering, I was like, these 24 hours were like low impact, right? Like you were taking it easy.
Yeah. So her class, I didn't just pedal it. I did put some energy into it. I just didn't kill myself on it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when that class was over, for the next 23 hours, I just did scenic rides, and my basic pace was between 7 and 14 miles an hour. I was going to do just the plain black screen, so I wouldn't have to keep getting out in and out of classes. But the problem is when I tested it, no one could high five me if you're just in that. So I was like, I want to give people an opportunity to join me at 1 a.m. and high five me. And they did. Like I had in almost all my scenic rides, somebody showed up, people showed up. So I just kept picking, I told them, I was like, follow me, Queen AVG. This way I didn't have to come up with a schedule because I was afraid with the bathroom, I'd go off the schedule.
Right.
So I said, hey, just follow me. And then if you're up, you'll see what scenic ride I'm in, jump in. And that's what I did until 9 a.m. And then that was when I told everybody as well that 9 a.m. on the nose, I'm going to hit the button for Emma's Coldplay ride.
Aww.
Because that ride, oh my gosh, like people talk about crying during fitness and working out. And I'm like, wow, how do you cry when you're working out? Like, why? Well, I took that ride over the summer and having no idea, like I love Coldplay and I love Emma. So I was like, this is great. Well, I was feeling emotional through the whole thing. And I'm like, all right, what's going on here? And then when it got to Fix You, I just started hysterical crying because I was thinking of my friend's daughter who had just passed in February. It's going to be a year. And I was just so close with her. Like, in fact, I'm wearing a necklace she bought me. It has a little pineapple on it. Her name is Angelina. and just the coolest kid in the world. And we spent a lot of time together, and I just love her so much. So when that song came on, I just started thinking about her. And it's just floodgates. And that was my best ride. I don't like, I'm never at the top of a leaderboard. I'm always like midway or just below, like, maybe the end. I'm never at the front of the pack. But for that ride, I think it was the first time I was just prior to that halfway mark. So I've taken that ride probably half a dozen times since then. And so I knew I had to close on that ride. And yeah, of course, I cried again.
Yeah.
During the ride, Facebook Live, but I'm like, whatever, I don't care.
It's a lot of emotion.
Yes.
And then I don't care. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, these kids are unbelievable, and if you don't cry, you're an animal. Like, I mean, really. And like, I unclicked, and then I spoke to everybody on our live page. About 300 people tuned in for my finish line.
And then you slept for a week.
And it was great. Yeah. I went after that. I went right to bed. Hannah went right to bed. We actually napped together in her room. She has a trundle bed. So I was like, why don't I sleep on the trundle? We could be together napping.
Aww.
So yeah, we both crashed, and we woke up about 2:30 and then crashed again at, I think it was about 9.
Wow. You deserved it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't even shower. I don't think I showered until yesterday, actually.
I'm glad this is over the internet then. Yeah,
I took the Italian shower. I just sprayed a little perfume.
You freshened up.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, it just wasn't a priority.
After that long on the bike, I get that. Like, you were just ready to sleep, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Did you do, like, were you trying to keep your energy up from a standpoint of, like, did you add in any, like, supplements or anything like that? Or,
like food-wise, you mean?
Yeah, like goo packets or whatever.
No,
to keep
amphetamines.
I couldn't have been less prepared for this, honestly. I mean, because people are on the official Peloton page. Everybody has been so wonderful and supportive and loving. Like, honestly, it's like moves me, makes my eyes well up when I'm reading all their messages. And so many of them are like, hey, can you tell me what you did to train? Hey, can you tell me what you did to eat? And I'm like, oh my God, I really just kind of pulled this one out. I didn't do a ton of research. So I was just like, well, I'll just I had my husband buy a couple rotisserie chickens. I just figured I'd eat chicken the whole time.
Yeah.
I got Gatorade. I knew to get Gatorade. And then that was pretty much it. So I was like, I guess if I get hungry, I'll have fruit or, I assumed whatever my mom was making for dinner, I would eat that. So that was beef soup. So there's a picture of me. My mom put it in a big Wonder Woman mug. I'm sitting on the bike, and my daughter and I are eating our beef soup. Yes, I pretty much had rotisserie chicken the whole 24 hours, a couple bowls of pretzels, the soup, blueberries, water, and Gatorade.
Okay.
And that was pretty much it.
Well, it's actually really that was a pretty good plan, especially with the Gatorade. I mean, the Gatorade would do what like a goo packet would do anyway. So like you were taking care of yourself. You may not have done the research, but your instincts were good.
Yeah, totally. And I love to eat. I'm an eater. And so I really kind of thought I was just going to eat like I normally would. I was expecting come 9 o'clock, I was going to break out like my little Reese cups and, because that's what I like to eat at night. And no, like I was really surprised at how my appetite was curbed on this ride. Like, they kept checking in. Do you want something to eat? I was like, yeah, no, I don't want anything to eat right now. I'm good.
Your body was
drank
busy.
A lot, but
your body was like, we got enough going on. We don't need to digest on top of this.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what kicked in there, but yeah, it was happy. Every once in a while, I was like, oh, I could use some rotisserie chicken. My daughter would give me a big plate of chicken. Just sit there and. So
how many people like showed up in the middle of the night to cheer you on? Like, did that help keep you going? With like, were they on Facebook Live? I know you said you had people like get on and high five you, but like, were they on Facebook Live and talking, like, chatting with you or?
Yeah. the middle of the night was rough.
I was thinking.
Obviously, the visitors are gone. My parents are asleep. My husband's asleep. My daughter's with me. But there's none of that interaction to just kind of, so she and we're huge Marvel fans. So we watched Infinity War and Endgame. Nice. I watched Invincible. That's one of my favorite movies. And yeah, we just kind of like tried to hang in there. We had on my scenic rides, there was at least one or two people in every scenic ride that popped on to give me high fives.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was cool. As far as Facebook Live, my daughter would look and she's like, it says there's 5 people here. So, and people would tell me, oh, I went on. Like I was up at like 1 and I was like, oh, let me see what she's doing. And I'm like, oh man, she's still riding. Okay. Yeah. So it was almost like I was the zoo animal. I was like the panda in the snow. People are bored. They have nothing else to do. They're like, what can I buy? And let me see if Andrea is still on her Peloton. She is.
Remember when that giraffe was going to have the baby and everybody was watching? You were.
I definitely was not that popular. I wish.
It's hard to compete with a giraffe.
That's true.
Yeah. And a baby giraffe.
Hannah and I were saying, because I'd say about 2, it was like rough. I was like, oh, holy crap, man. I still got a while. This is tough. And I said to her, I go, I feel like we just have to get to 7:30. I feel like that is the magic time because I'm going to press the button at 9. So I'll be all souped up on adrenaline at that point because I'll be done. And I love that ride. And 7:30, the sun's coming in. Everybody in the house is going to be waking up. Dan's going to make some coffee. Oh, Hannah made me espresso at 3 a.m. So that was nice. So that was kind of my goal. I was like, I just got to get to 7:30. And then it's like, we're home free.
Yeah.
So we did it.
I was recently, my job had to do overnights for a period of time. And it was like it's like, and mine was 11 to 7. And it was like, it was like that around 4 o'clock is where you just hit a wall and you're just like, oh, and those last 2 hours are the worst. Yeah.
Well, and what really sucks is that I love music so much. And my kids are often the ones saying, Mommy, can you turn Queen down? It's so loud. Like, I love to blare music when I'm not working. Like whatever else I'm doing, I just love to blare it and hear it all over the house. And during Tunde's ride, we noticed about halfway through my ride, well, we didn't notice till the ride was over, but when it was over, we looked and Facebook Live cut out. And I was like, oh, shoot, how long has that been out? And then I saw the message on the screen. It said something about the music and the copyright. And I was like, oh, shoot, I didn't even think about that. So I was like, all right, what if, because I didn't want to watch TV all day. I'd rather listen to music. Like that keeps me going a little bit more.
They would do the same thing to TV
they would do the
we
same
ran
thing.
in that Crystal the other day posted a video of the dog doing something cute. And in the background, and I'm not just saying this because you're Italian, we were watching Jersey Shore.
True story.
And
they're not from Jersey, by the way. They're from Staten Island.
Or like Rhode Island. A lot of them are saying they're from Rhode Island when you hear them talk.
But that's not from Jersey. They filmed in Jersey, so they give Jersey a bad name.
Understood.
But go ahead, Tom. Sorry. I had to throw that in.
So she had never watched it. I was like, I think you'd actually like it. And so she totally has gotten sucked into Jersey Shore.
I've never seen an episode. I've just seen the characters.
Yeah.
It's the show is much better than you think the characters are. Let me just say that.
The characters are way more likable than you would think based on
they freaking grow on you.
They do.
They freaking like you learn them and then you okay. But anyway,
it was playing in the background and Facebook muted it.
Yeah, it was like your video has been muted because you were watching season and it had the episode.
It was like Jersey Shore season 2 episode episode 9.
And I was like, what the what? I didn't even know Facebook could do that. So, yeah.
Well, then we lucked out because now the computer screen obviously was facing me. The TV was behind the computer.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were blaring those movies and it didn't cut out on the movies.
Oh, that's good.
And, yeah.
And with Marvel, when Guardians of the Galaxy scene would come on, they'd play a song. I was like, oh, shoot. I'd have my remote and I'd be bringing it all the way down so the computer wouldn't hear the song playing. And then when the song was over, I'd put it back up. But yeah, so that I think that was hard for me. Like, had I been able to play music throughout the evening, or at least when I was super tired, that would have helped. My daughter did have earbuds for me, and she made me a little playlist. She's like, Mom, you're looking tired. Put these on. I'm going to play you a song. And then she put like Katy Perry's Roar on. But I didn't want to ride with your earbuds all night because I felt bad because she's staying up with me.
Right.
And I'm like,
ignoring her.
Yeah. So it's kind of like if you're sitting at dinner with somebody and they start looking at their phone.
Yeah.
You're like, really? I'm right here.
Yeah. You wanted her to be part of it with you because she was doing it with you. So I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, I don't want to do it without her. So we just stuck with the movie. So they did the trick, but it was a struggle, definitely.
And you have good taste in movies.
Yeah,
to say.
Definitely.
Thank you.
I'm a giant
big
nerd.
Marvel fan.
So I used to.
Well, we're big movie. I want to listen to your podcast because our family, like, our TV can't be big enough. I'm like, I know our room is so small, but I think it needs to be bigger because our favorite thing is movies.
Man, I'm glad you have kids that actually want to watch it on a big screen. Like, I get so mad. I walk in the living room and we've got like a 70-inch TV and they're like watching things on their phone.
Drives him nuts.
It's like, what are you doing?
Oh, no. We got the ridiculous speakers that make like the glass shake next to you.
Nice.
Lights out.
Nice.
I want to feel like I'm in a theater.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's awesome.
And it's a tiny room too. It's like real tiny, but I don't care. I'm like, I love it.
It's a private view. It's a private screening room.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still a movie theater. It's a private screening room. Yeah.
So how much money were you able to raise over the weekend?
So, well, first we started the fundraiser like weeks prior via our website. And we had all these different teams that were named after kids who are either currently fighting cancer in our Infinite Love family or who have fought cancer in remission or they've passed. The point of the teams was to, honor them and be able to tell their stories and show their pictures. So we had, Team Mia, Team Juliana, Team Mighty Mac, Team Joshua, like all these. You have to go to our website and check them out. It's adorable. And, obviously we got the parents' permission to do this. And everyone's parents just, they were so proud of their child and their team. So they shared their team links for, the last few weeks with their own family, friends, and community. So before we even got to Saturday, I want to say those teams alone probably raised about $35,000-$40,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and I like people to know that because I think there's so much excitement around my 24-hour ride that people are assuming it was just about me.
Sure. And
that's the last thing I want them to think because all this stuff takes a village. I wouldn't have been able to do any of this by myself. So yeah, I mean, one phenomenal 17-year-old girl who just wrapped up treatment for osteosarcoma. Her name's Sona. She lives in Connecticut, and she was like, I want to do something to give back to the foundation. So can I start a page? And this is between her and our vice president, Jim McCaffrey, who also lives in Connecticut. He actually lost his daughter. He and his wife, Marion, to rhabdomyosarcoma in 2017. So obviously near and dear to Jim's heart. But Sona, he was like, absolutely, set up the page. We'll get a page set up for you and see what you could do. And we made the goal of the team pages $1,000, thinking, hey, we have, 15 teams. We could do pretty well if they all raise $1,000. Long story short, this incredible girl with her best friend and her parents and her community, they've raised over $11,000 on her page alone.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's to me, I'm like, what 17-year-olds are doing this?
Yeah.
just so incredible. And some of our other teams sing. I mean, we had Team Emerson Page raised like 3,000. Team Brady, I think, was like 2,500. Team Luca. I mean, I don't want to name them all. I want to name them all, but I won't because I know I can't. But they're all phenomenal. So then that, in conjunction with my ride, my team member, Rachel, she was like, hey, for your ride, I'm thinking, since Facebook makes it so easy for people to donate, they just click the button, you know, rather than send them to our website where they got to get off of Facebook, put in their credit card, do the whole thing. Let's make it easy for them. So she said, I want to set up a Facebook fundraiser that's just for your 24-hour ride. And again, pie in the sky, let's go for 10,000. We both thought that was ludicrous. How are we going to raise $10,000 in 24 hours just because I'm on a bike? Like this, there's no way. But guess what? I think that Facebook link is still up. And the last I checked, it was past 30. So our total as of right now, and everything just started, is just over 75,000.
Holy cow. Nice. Congrats.
Yeah, well
That's
done.
amazing.
Thank you. It's we're all like, I mean, my friend Rachel's the one that was keeping track of it the whole time. So she was just blowing up my phone with messages to myself and to Jim, like, holy crap, we just got to 60,000. Oh my God. You know, and of course, to our viewers, we kept saying, hey guys, the original goal, we're like, let's get to 50. Blew past 50 halfway through my ride. And I'm like, well, I'm not riding the rest of this for nothing. Let's keep going. So I'm sure people are like, what are you doing here? We keep upping the thermostat. Like as soon as we hit a goal, we're like, we're not there yet.
Well, that's how it works, though. That nobody can be too shocked at that.
Yeah.
Like nobody just says, "Well, that's enough money for charity."
Especially
exactly.
kids.
Right.
I mean, that's an amazing organization.
Yes.
So
and like I said, I like people to know, hey, you know, we're not a big box charity, but we are like Rocky. We are the mighty foundation. We're small, but you know, Mickey loves you. He's like, you know, we're doing great things, and because we are volunteer run and we don't have a building, everything that comes into us is going back out. You know, which you can't say for a lot of the bigger places.
Yeah,
right, totally.
You're absolutely right.
I always tell people you get a lot of bang out of your buck when you donate to small foundations like ours. So. You know, I'll say, hey, listen, if we're not your bag, then find another small foundation because, you know, they're underestimated and they're all getting stuff done.
And on that note, how can the Peloton community support you now? Like, are you still accepting donations? Can they still? Oh,
God, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, we were saying to people, listen, I know we're grateful for everything that has come in through this fundraiser. But at the end of the day, like I said, we're still not able to have our in-person events. And we would be having our annual gala that yields about $300,000.
Wow.
And we didn't have one in 2020 and we're not having one in 2021. So yeah, 75,000 is wonderful, but we're still, you know, we're still not where we should have been for 2020. And I don't want to have to ever tell a child of cancer family I can't help them. So we need every bit we can get. You know, and I tell people whether that's through your donations or you guys know, just word of mouth, like our posts, share our posts, comment on our posts so they stay relevant in feeds, social media feeds. Like just doing those simple little tasks help us grow. And the more we can grow, you know, the more we can ultimately raise. So that's what we're just encouraging people to just keep giving. We actually have, it's called a monthly givers club, and it's great. You go on our website, it's right there, click on it. And, you get, like, depending on what level you do, $25 a month, $50 and so on. You get little Infinite Love swag bag. I mean, who doesn't want that? And it also gives you perks, such as every month we do a giveaway raffle. So I think I should know this. I want to say it's the second Thursday of every month. We do a live spin the wheel on our Facebook page, and you don't have to check in or even have Facebook to win, because if you win, we're going to be honest and send you the prize.
Right.
But we give away, you know, anything from high-end beauty products to Amazon gift cards, all really good things. So they get automatically entered into that raffle every month. Plus, when we do have our events again, they get, discounted ticket sales. Our events luckily sell out. They get usually free sheet of raffle tickets. So we make it worth their while.
That's awesome.
At the end of the day, it's worth giving up, 1 cup of coffee a week to do $25 a month. And that's what we really push is our monthly givers club, because at least we can see that money coming in and we can depend on it.
Yep.
It's not like, when will we have how much will we make at this next fundraiser?
Totally.
So it's a little bit of a security blanket for us.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, please, if you haven't already, because I know you've sent me a couple emails. If it's not in there already, please send me your link to be able to do that, and I will.
Oh, I did forget to send you the links. I sent you all those pictures because I used to be a photo editor when I worked in publishing. So I'm always focused on photography, and I forgot to send the links. I will send them to you for sure.
And we'll make sure that it gets posted in our group and on our page and
the newsletter that we send out.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Yes, definitely.
Perfect. And can I give one more plug?
Absolutely.
Of course. Absolutely.
All right. So now that this is kind of wrapped, we are going to do this again next year. So we're telling the Peloton community, follow myself, Queen AVG, and if possible, our VP. His is Make It Amazing. It stands for Mia, his daughter.
Aww.
So it's an easy one to remember so that we can keep in touch. This way, we're thinking we're going to actually start a Facebook group for people who want to be involved specifically in the Peloton community with Infinite Love. So this group will just be, hey, next time you're doing a spin event, let us know so we can just kind of connect with people quickly. But also on June 13th, we're holding our 5K tutu trot, and that's a family run walk that's virtual. And I'll try to give you the short of it. Jim started it when Mia was in treatment. It was a live event, obviously. Has been doing it in Connecticut ever since. But when COVID happened last year, he's like, hey, I got to do this virtual. I was like, well, if it's going to be virtual, we might as well push it near us too. And then I had the idea of, hey, well, why don't we see if we can get walkers in every state in the country?
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, long story short, we got 48 of the 50 states involved.
So which two punked Canada, out on you?
2 of them, yes.
Which two? Which two?
I don't remember. I want to say it was Arkansas.
One of them was probably us. One of them were Missouri.
Might have been. No, we had Missouri.
Okay.
We had Missouri. Yeah. So, we had Canada. We had Germany. We had...
Those aren't even states, I think.
Well, shoot, they're not. Damn it. I should have said other countries as well. But that was great because we sent everybody a virtual, a bib for themselves to print out. And people just started flooding that day on social media, pictures of themselves holding their Infinite Love bibs wherever they were in the country or in the world. And we ended up raising $40,000 from that one.
That's nice. So cool.
So the Peloton community would come in really handy for that since we're based all over the world. If they can connect with us through our Facebook page, this way they'll know when registration opens. I want to see you walk. And if you walked a marathon on the treadmill, I want to see Crystal signing up for my tutu trot.
You got it. When is it? When is it? I'll be there.
June 13th.
Okay.
And Tom, listen. It's a tutu trot, and real men wear tutus. So I have tons of pictures of men who wore tutus last year, and women and boys and girls. So I want to see a rainbow tutu on you. If you're not going to ride the Peloton, you got to wear a tutu.
You got a better chance to get me to wear a tutu than you do get me to actually do work. So
I'll see what we can do. I'll see what we can do. I'll do the walk, and he can wear the tutu.
Seems like a fair division of labor. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want that picture. It's going to be big in my promo video.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing that with us. That was a fun story. I mean, if we weird because it's okay to say fun when it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I absolutely know what you mean. It's really horrible, and there's nothing fun about it.
Right.
But if we can bring communities of people together, just wrapped around the essence of children. And that is fun because children are just amazing. And if I always tell people that are complaining about stupid things like not wearing a mask, about wearing a mask, I should say, that I'm like, man, go hang out in one of these clinics when these kids are having transfusions or chemo, and why don't you complain a little less? Because if you could see how strong they are and how they're like, this ain't no thing, give me some Play-Doh. Like, they're so inspiring, you know. I think people just need to like get a little perspective.
I think you're right.
Absolutely.
I think we could all use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do and for taking time out of your day to share some of it with us.
Yes.
Thank you for having me on your platform. This is amazing.
So I guess that brings this episode to an end. What, pray tell, do you have in store for people next week?
We are going to be talking to Jennifer Storm, a.k.a. Blackout Girl, on the leaderboard. She has a fascinating story, and I can't wait for everyone to hear it.
Awesome. Well, until then, where can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Crystal D. O'Keefe. They can find me on Instagram, Twitter, The Bike, and of course the Tread at Clip Out Crystal.
And you can find me on Twitter at Roger Kubert or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online, facebook.com/The Clip Out. While you're there, like the page, join the group, and wherever you're getting your podcast from, be sure and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're so inclined, you can watch all of these at youtube.com/The Clip Out. You can see all the pictures we're talking about and all of that stuff in full HD glory. So anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep pedaling.
And running.
Clip in, set yourself